#No one wants to date me, mister. She said on a blind date. Then the single dad's reaction changed. Emma's hands trembled as she confessed her deepest insecurity to the stranger across the table. What happened next would change both their lives forever, proving that sometimes our greatest wounds become the doorway to unexpected love. Stay with me until the end to discover how this blind date transformed into something neither of them saw coming, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to see more stories that remind us second chances are always possible, even when we've given up hope. The restaurant buzzed with Friday night energy, couples laughing, waiters weaving between tables, the soft clink of silverware against plates. Emma Matthews sat alone, checking her watch for the third time in 5 minutes. Her blind date was officially late. Just 15 more minutes, she whispered to herself, smoothing the fabric of her navy dress. Then I can leave with dignity intact. Emma hadn't wanted to come in the first place. Her best friend Layla had practically forced her, insisting that 2 years was long enough to hide from the world. You can't let one bad relationship define your life, Layla had said while booking the reservation. Trust me, this guy is different. Different. Emma had heard that before. She took a sip of water, trying to ignore the pitying glances from nearby diners. The hostess approached, a tall man following behind her. Emma straightened, her heart suddenly racing. Ms. Matthews? Your guest has arrived, the hostess said with a professional smile. The man who stepped forward wasn't what Emma had expected. Tall with broad shoulders, dark hair peppered with silver at the temples, and eyes that crinkled slightly at the corners when he smiled. He wore a simple button-down shirt and looked as nervous as she felt. I'm so sorry I'm late, he said, extending his hand. Daniel Parker. There was an emergency with my daughter's babysitter. Emma's eyebrows raised slightly. Daughter? Yes, Daniel said, taking his seat. Lily. She's 7. Layla didn't mention you had a child, Emma said, trying to keep her voice neutral. Daniel's smile faltered. Is that a problem? No, not at all, Emma replied quickly. I just wasn't expecting it. An awkward silence settled between them as they studied their menus. Emma stole glances at Daniel when he wasn't looking. He was handsome in an understated way, with strong features and kind eyes. But a child complicated things. Children meant responsibility, commitment, a past that included someone else. So, Daniel said after they'd ordered, Layla tells me you're a children's book illustrator? Emma nodded, relaxing slightly. Yes, for about 8 years now. I love it. That's amazing. Lily would be impressed. She's obsessed with books, can't get enough of them. Smart girl, Emma said, smiling despite herself. Too smart sometimes, Daniel laughed. She asks questions I can't answer. Makes me wish I'd paid more attention in science class. The conversation flowed more easily after that. Daniel was a high school history teacher who coached basketball on weekends. He spoke about his students with genuine affection, his eyes lighting up when describing breakthrough moments in his classroom. What about you? He asked. How did you get into illustration? Emma told him about her childhood love of drawing, her art school years, and the lucky break that led to her first book contract. She found herself relaxing, enjoying his attentive gaze and thoughtful questions. When their entrees arrived, Daniel asked about her family. Just my mom and younger brother, Emma said. Dad left when I was 12. Mom raised us on her own. That couldn't have been easy, Daniel said softly. It wasn't. But she's the strongest person I know. Daniel nodded. Single parents are a special breed. I've been doing it for 3 years now, and some days I feel like I'm barely keeping my head above water. Emma hesitated before asking, and Lily's mother? Daniel's expression shifted, a shadow crossing his features. She left when Lily was 4. Decided family life wasn't for her after all. I'm sorry, Emma said, meaning it. Don't be. We're better off now. Took a while to get there, but we are. As dinner progressed, Emma found herself drawn to Daniel's honesty and the gentle way he spoke about his daughter. There was no pretense, no attempt to impress her with achievements or possessions. Just a man doing his best to build a good life. When dessert arrived, a chocolate cake they agreed to share, Emma felt comfortable enough to ask the question that had been nagging at her. Can I ask why Layla thought we'd be a good match? We seem so different. Daniel considered this, fork paused midair. She said you were kind, creative, and deserved someone who would appreciate those qualities. He smiled. She also mentioned you make amazing cookies. Emma laughed. My one marketable skill. I doubt that very much, Daniel said, his eyes warm. The evening was going better than Emma had dared hope. As they finished dessert, she found herself not wanting it to end. But then Daniel's phone buzzed. He checked it, frowning. Everything okay? Emma asked. The babysitter says Lily's having nightmares again. I should probably head home. He looked genuinely disappointed. I'm sorry to cut this short. No, of course. Your daughter needs you. Daniel paid the bill despite Emma's protests and walked her to her car. Standing in the cool night air, Emma felt a familiar anxiety creeping in. She'd enjoyed herself, too much, perhaps. Experience had taught her that enjoyment often preceded disappointment. I had a really nice time, Daniel said, hands in his pockets. Me too, Emma replied, fumbling with her keys. I'd like to see you again, if you're interested. Emma looked up at him, at his hopeful expression, and felt the walls she'd carefully constructed begin to crack. Before she could overthink it, she blurted out the truth. No one wants to date me, mister, she said, her voice catching. Not really. Not when they find out everything. Daniel's brow furrowed. What do you mean? Emma took a deep breath. This was usually where things ended, better to get it over with now. I can't have children, she said quietly. Medical condition. Found out after my ex and I had been together for 3 years. He left 2 weeks later. She expected Daniel to step back, to make excuses about needing to get home to Lily. Instead, his expression softened. Emma, he said gently, I already have a child. A wonderful, brilliant daughter who is my whole world. I'm not looking for someone to give me more children. I'm looking for someone who might, someday, love the one I already have. Emma stared at him, speechless. And for what it's worth, Daniel continued, your ex sounds like an idiot who didn't deserve you. A laugh escaped her, half sob and half relief. That's what Layla says. Smart woman, your friend. Daniel smiled. So, can I call you tomorrow? Maybe we could meet for coffee? Or if you're feeling adventurous, Lily and I go to the farmer's market on Sunday mornings. You'd be welcome to join us. Emma hesitated only briefly before nodding. I'd like that. The farmer's market sounds nice. Daniel's smile widened. Great. I'll text you details. Perfect. As they exchanged numbers, Emma felt something she hadn't experienced in years, hope, fragile but persistent, blooming in her chest. Sunday morning arrived with golden sunshine and a knot of nerves in Emma's stomach. She changed outfits 3 times before settling on jeans and a soft blue sweater. Casual but not too casual. She wanted to make a good impression on Lily. The farmer's market sprawled across a park near downtown, white tents dotting the green space like sails on a grassy sea. Emma spotted Daniel immediately, standing near the entrance with a small girl perched on his shoulders. Lily wore a red jacket and had her father's dark hair, twisted into 2 neat braids. Daniel waved when he saw Emma approaching. Look who's here, Lily Bug, he said, lifting his daughter down. Lily regarded Emma with solemn brown eyes. Are you the lady who draws pictures in books? Emma knelt to Lily's level. I am. My name is Emma. I'm Lily Parker. I'm 7 3/4. Very pleased to meet you, Lily Parker, who is 7 3/4. Lily nodded, apparently satisfied with this response. Dad says you're going to help us pick strawberries. Emma glanced up at Daniel, who shrugged apologetically. I might have mentioned you have excellent taste. Well, Emma said, standing, strawberries are very serious business. I'll do my best. Lily slipped her small hand into Emma's with the easy trust of childhood. This way. The best ones are at Mr. Rodriguez's stand. The morning unfolded with unexpected ease. Lily chattered about school, her friends, and the book she was currently reading. She asked Emma dozens of questions about drawing and seemed impressed when Emma sketched a quick cartoon of a girl with braids on a napkin. That's me. Lily exclaimed, delighted. It is, Emma agreed. You can keep it if you want. Really? Dad, look what Emma made for me. Daniel examined the sketch with exaggerated seriousness. Excellent likeness. You've captured her mischievous expression perfectly. Emma laughed. Artist's eye. They wandered through the market, sampling local honey and artisanal bread. Daniel bought flowers, sunflowers for Lily and daisies for Emma. When Lily ran ahead to look at a display of handmade toys, Daniel leaned closer to Emma. Thank you for coming. She doesn't warm up to people easily. She's wonderful, Emma said honestly. You're doing a great job with her. Something flickered in Daniel's eyes, gratitude, perhaps, or relief. Some days I wonder. All parents wonder, Emma said. My mom used to say that doubt is just proof you care enough to worry. Daniel's smile reached his eyes. Your mom sounds wise. The wisest, Emma agreed. Lily returned, tugging Daniel's hand. Dad, can Emma come for pancakes? You said we'd make pancakes when we got home. Daniel looked at Emma questioningly. No pressure. Sunday pancakes are a Parker tradition, but... I love pancakes, Emma said, surprising herself with how much she meant it. If you're sure I'm not intruding. You're not, Daniel and Lily said in unison, then laughed at their synchronicity. The Parker home was a modest two-story in a quiet neighborhood. Toys were scattered across the living room, and children's artwork decorated the refrigerator. It felt lived in and warm in a way that made Emma's apartment seem sterile by comparison. Sorry about the mess, Daniel said, gathering up a pile of laundry from the couch. Cleaning day is usually Saturday, but we had basketball practice. It's perfect, Emma said, meaning it. Can I help with pancakes? Lily appointed herself Emma's supervisor, showing her where ingredients were kept and explaining the critical importance of chocolate chips in proper pancake preparation. Daniel moved around them, setting the table and occasionally catching Emma's eye with a smile that made her heart skip. They ate at the kitchen table, Lily dominating the conversation with stories about her second-grade class and the turtle they were taking care of. When she excused herself to feed her goldfish, Daniel refilled Emma's coffee. She likes you, he said quietly. The feeling is mutual. I should warn you, once Lily decides she likes someone, she's all in. No holding back. Emma considered this. Like father, like daughter? Daniel's eyes crinkled. Maybe. Is that a problem? No, Emma said, surprising herself with her certainty. Not at all. After breakfast, Lily insisted on showing Emma her room, proudly displaying her book collection and the solar system mobile hanging from her ceiling. When she pulled out a half-finished puzzle, Emma sat cross-legged on the carpet to help, aware of Daniel watching from the doorway with an expression she couldn't quite read. Later, as Emma prepared to leave, Lily hugged her fiercely. Will you come back? Dad makes spaghetti on Wednesdays, and it's actually good. Emma looked at Daniel, who raised his eyebrows in silent question. I'd love to, she said. If that's okay with your dad. More than okay, Daniel replied. At the door, with Lily distracted by a TV show, Daniel touched Emma's arm lightly. Thank you for today. It's been, nice isn't a strong enough word. I know what you mean, Emma said. I wasn't expecting any of this. Neither was I. Daniel hesitated. I know it's complicated, me, Lily, everything. But I'd really like to see where this could go. Emma thought about the walls she'd built, the disappointments she'd endured, the fear that had kept her isolated for so long. Then she thought about Lily's hand in hers, Daniel's kind eyes, and the feeling of belonging she'd experienced sitting at their kitchen table. I'd like that too, she said softly. Daniel's smile was worth every moment of uncertainty. The weeks that followed took on a rhythm Emma hadn't realized she'd been missing. Wednesday spaghetti dinners became a fixture, as did Saturday morning basketball games where she cheered for Daniel's team from the bleachers, Lily bouncing excitedly beside her. They had proper dates too, dinners when Lily stayed with Daniel's parents, a concert in the park, a gallery opening for one of Emma's illustrator friends. But Emma found she enjoyed the family moments most, helping Lily with homework, watching movies together on the couch, the three of them making cookies that turned out lopsided but delicious. One evening, after Lily had gone to bed, Daniel and Emma sat on his back porch, sharing a bottle of wine and watching fireflies blink in the gathering darkness. Lily asked me something interesting today, Daniel said, his voice casual though his expression was anything but. Oh? Emma's heart quickened. She wanted to know if you were going to be her new mom. Emma nearly choked on her wine. What did you tell her? The truth. That I care about you very much, but those kinds of decisions take time and have to be made by grown-ups. How did she take it? Daniel smiled. She said she'd be patient, but not too patient because she already decided you belong with us. Emma set down her glass, emotions swirling. Daniel, You don't have to say anything, he interrupted gently. I know it's only been a few months. I just wanted you to know what she's thinking. What we're both thinking, if I'm honest. Emma looked at this man who had somehow slipped past her defenses, who had shown her that family could mean many things, who had never once made her feel less because of what she couldn't give. I'm falling in love with you, she said simply. Both of you. Daniel's face softened. He reached for her hand, entwining their fingers. We're falling in love with you too. When he kissed her, Emma felt the last of her walls crumble. 6 months into their relationship, the first real test came. Emma had moved many of her things into Daniel's house, though she kept her apartment for her studio space. They had settled into a comfortable routine that felt remarkably like family. Then Lily's mother reappeared. Daniel called Emma from school, his voice tight. Vanessa called. She's in town and wants to see Lily. Emma's stomach dropped. What did you say? That I'd think about it. Emma, she hasn't contacted us in over a year. Not even a birthday card. What does Lily want? Daniel sighed heavily. She doesn't know yet. I wanted to talk to you first. The fact that he considered her opinion important in such a crucial matter wasn't lost on Emma. I think, you have to let Lily decide. With boundaries, of course. You're right, Daniel said. I just worry about her getting hurt again. I know. But you'll be there to catch her if she falls. We both will. The meeting was arranged for Saturday afternoon at a neutral location, a park with a playground where Lily could be comfortable. Emma offered to stay away, but Daniel asked her to come. You're part of our lives now, he said. Vanessa should understand that. Vanessa Parker was strikingly beautiful, with Lily's dark eyes and a nervous energy that manifested in constant movement, tucking hair behind her ear, adjusting her bracelets, shifting her weight from foot to foot. She hugged Lily awkwardly while Daniel and Emma watched from a nearby bench. She looked scared, Emma observed quietly. Daniel nodded. She should be. Leaving was her choice, but Lily's the one who paid the price. They watched as Vanessa and Lily walked around the playground. The meeting was arranged for Saturday afternoon at a neutral location, a park with a playground where Lily could be comfortable. Emma offered to stay away, but Daniel asked her to come. "You're part of our lives now," he said. "Vanessa should understand that." Vanessa Parker was strikingly beautiful, with Lily's dark eyes and a nervous energy that manifested in constant movement, tucking hair behind her ear, adjusting her bracelets, shifting her weight from foot to foot. She hugged Lily awkwardly while Daniel and Emma watched from a nearby bench. "She looks scared," Emma observed quietly. Daniel nodded. "She should be. Leaving was her choice, but Lily's the one who paid the price." They watched as Vanessa and Lily walked around the playground, their conversation inaudible from a distance. Lily's body language was stiff, her responses to her mother's questions appearing minimal. After 20 minutes, Lily ran back to the bench, her face unreadable. "Can we go home now?" she asked Daniel. "Already? You don't want to spend more time with your mom?" Lily shook her head firmly. "She's not really my mom. She's just Vanessa." Vanessa approached slowly, her expression pained. "Lily, honey." "I'm sorry," Lily said, not sounding sorry at all. "But I have art class with Emma today. We're making clay animals." Emma and Daniel exchanged surprised glances. There was no art class planned. Vanessa looked at Emma, really seeing her for the first time. "You're with Daniel now?" "Yes," Emma said simply. Something like resignation crossed Vanessa's face. She knelt to Lily's level. "I understand if you're angry with me. I made mistakes. But I'd like to see you again before I leave town." Lily considered this, her young face serious beyond her years. "Maybe. I'll ask Dad." The drive home was quiet, Lily staring out the window lost in thought. When they arrived, she disappeared into her room while Daniel and Emma prepared dinner. "Are you okay?" Emma asked, noticing the tension in Daniel's shoulders. "I don't know," he admitted. "Part of me is furious she thinks she can waltz back in after all this time. Part of me knows Lily deserves to have her mother in her life, if that's what she wants." "What do you think Lily wants?" Daniel leaned against the counter. "That's the question, isn't it? She's so young to have to make these decisions." Later that evening, after they'd tucked Lily into bed, she asked Emma to stay for an extra story. Daniel kissed his daughter goodnight and left them alone. "Emma?" Lily's voice was small in the dimly lit room. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything, sweetheart." "If you marry my dad, would you be my mom?" Emma's heart caught in her throat. Well, I would be your stepmom. But that can be just as special. Would you leave like Vanessa did?" The question broke Emma's heart. She sat on the edge of Lily's bed and took the child's hand. "No, Lily. I would never leave you. Not ever." Lily nodded, seemingly satisfied. "That's what I thought. That's why I told Vanessa I already have someone who takes care of me." Emma blinked back tears. "Your dad takes very good care of you." "Dad and you," Lily corrected. "You're better at braiding hair." Emma laughed softly. "That's true. Your dad tries, though. Will you tell me a story about a girl whose mom comes back but she doesn't need her anymore because she found a better one?" Emma considered this carefully. "How about I tell you a story about a girl who has enough love in her heart for many different people, even when some of them make mistakes?" Lily sighed dramatically. "I guess that's okay too." The following weeks were a delicate balance. Vanessa met with Lily twice more before announcing she was moving to Seattle for a job opportunity. She promised to call regularly and visit when she could. Lily accepted this with the resilience of childhood, neither devastated nor particularly surprised. "She's not staying, is she?" Lily asked Daniel as they watched Vanessa's taxi pull away after their final visit. No, honey. But she says she'll call you every Sunday. Lily nodded thoughtfully. That's okay. We have Emma now. Daniel glanced at Emma, who stood a few steps behind them. Yes, we do. That night, after Lily was asleep, Daniel took Emma's hand and led her to the backyard. The spring evening was mild, stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. I've been thinking, he said, his voice uncharacteristically nervous. Dangerous pastime, Emma teased. Very. Daniel smiled, then grew serious. These past months with you have been the happiest of my life. You've brought joy back into our home in ways I didn't think were possible. Emma's heart began to race. Daniel. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. I know it hasn't been that long, and if you think it's too soon, I understand. But Lily and I both know what we want. He opened the box, revealing a simple but elegant diamond ring. We want you, Emma. Every day, for all the days to come. Emma stared at the ring, tears filling her eyes. Are you sure? I can't give you more children. I can't. Emma, Daniel interrupted gently, I'm not asking you to give me anything. I'm asking if I can give you my heart, my home, my life. If you'll let me love you forever. If you'll be Lily's mother in all the ways that truly matter. Emma thought about the journey that had brought her here, the pain of her diagnosis, the betrayal of her ex, the years of loneliness. And then the blind date she almost cancelled, the confession she thought would end things before they began, and the man who had looked at her with kindness instead of disappointment. Yes, she whispered, then louder, yes, Daniel. I want that more than anything. He slipped the ring onto her finger, his hands trembling slightly. When he kissed her, Emma felt the certainty of coming home. They were interrupted by a small voice from the back door. Did she say yes? Dad, did she say yes? Lily stood in her pajamas, clearly having been eavesdropping instead of sleeping. Daniel laughed. Come here, spy. Yes, she said yes. Lily ran to them, throwing her arms around both their waists. I knew it. I told Grandma you were going to be my mom for real. Emma knelt down, meeting Lily's excited gaze. Is that okay with you? If I become your stepmom? Lily rolled her eyes in perfect 7-year-old fashion. I've been waiting forever. Can I be the flower girl? Absolutely, Emma promised, hugging her tight. Over Lily's head, she met Daniel's gaze, full of love, promise, and the future they would build together. A family formed not by blood or obligation, but by choice and love. The wedding was small and perfect, held in Daniel's, now their, backyard the following autumn. Lily took her flower girl duties with utmost seriousness, scattering rose petals with precision down the makeshift aisle. Emma's mother cried through the entire ceremony, while her brother gave a toast that had everyone laughing. Daniel's parents welcomed Emma with open arms, his mother whispering, "Thank you for bringing our son back to life," during their dance. Later, as the reception wound down and twilight settled over the yard strung with fairy lights, Emma found a moment alone with Layla. I can't believe you were right, Emma said, hugging her friend. About Daniel being different. Layla smiled smugly. I'm always right. You should know that by now. Seriously, though. How did you know? Because he lost someone too, Layla said simply. And I figured anyone who understood that kind of pain wouldn't inflict it on someone else. Emma looked across the yard where Daniel was dancing with Lily, the little girl standing on his feet as he moved them in slow circles. Her heart swelled with a happiness she'd once believed impossible. Thank you, she said softly. For not letting me give up. That's what friends are for, Layla replied. Now go dance with your husband and daughter. Emma crossed the yard, stepping into Daniel's outstretched arm. He pulled her close, Lily sandwiched between them in a three-person dance that was awkward and perfect. "Happy?" Daniel asked, his eyes reflecting the string lights above. Emma looked at the two people who had healed her heart, who had shown her that family comes in many forms, who had loved her not despite her wounds but with them. "More than I ever thought possible," she answered truthfully. 1 year later, Emma sat in a sterile office, clutching Daniel's hand as they faced the social worker across the desk. "The home study went very well," the woman said, reviewing her notes. "And your references were excellent. Lily's adjustment to having Emma as a stepmother appears seamless." "She's thriving," Daniel confirmed. "Her teachers say she's more confident than ever." The social worker nodded. "That's wonderful to hear. Now, regarding your application to become foster parents, are you prepared for the challenges? Children in the system often come with trauma histories." Emma and Daniel exchanged glances. They had discussed this extensively, weighing their capacity to help children who needed homes, even temporarily. "We understand," Emma said. "We can't promise to be perfect, but we can promise to provide stability, patience, and love." "And Lily is on board?" Daniel smiled. "It was her idea, actually. She announced at dinner one night that she was ready to be a big sister and that there were kids without families who needed one like ours." The social worker's expression softened. "Out of the mouths of babes." She closed the file. "Well, I'm pleased to tell you that you've been approved. We have a sibling group, a 4-year-old boy and his 6-year-old sister, who need placement immediately. Their previous foster home was overcrowded." Emma felt a surge of nervous excitement. "How soon?" "They could be with you by the weekend, if you're ready." Daniel squeezed Emma's hand. "We're ready." 3 days later, Emma stood beside Daniel as a social worker's car pulled into their driveway. Lily bounced on her toes between them, barely containing her excitement. "Remember," Daniel reminded her gently, "they might be scared or shy at first. We need to give them time to adjust." Lily nodded solemnly. "I made them welcome cards. And I'm sharing my stuffed animals." Emma's heart swelled with pride. She knelt to straighten Lily's headband. "You're going to be an amazing big sister." The car doors opened, and the social worker emerged, leading 2 small children with matching dark curls and uncertain expressions. The boy clutched a worn backpack to his chest, while the girl held his hand protectively. "Marcus, Sophia," the social worker said, "this is the Parker family. They're going to take care of you for a while." Emma stepped forward, kneeling to their level. "Hi there. I'm Emma. We're so happy you're here." Sophia regarded her warily. "For how long?" The question held the weight of too many moves, too many temporary homes. Emma exchanged a glance with Daniel before answering honestly. "We don't know yet. But while you're here, this is your home too. All of it." Lily moved forward, offering the handmade cards. "I'm Lily. I'm 8 now. Do you like puzzles? We have lots of puzzles." Marcus peeked out from behind his sister, his eyes finding the basketball hoop in the driveway. Daniel noticed his interest. "Do you like basketball, Marcus? I could teach you, if you want." The boy nodded slightly, the first sign of interest he'd shown. That evening, after a dinner where conversation was halting but not uncomfortable, after showing the children their rooms filled with new toys and books, after reassuring Sophia 3 times that yes, she could keep her backpack with her, and no, they wouldn't separate her from her brother, Emma and Daniel collapsed on the couch, exhausted but content. "They're finally asleep," Daniel whispered. "All 3 of them." Emma leaned against his shoulder. "Sophia asked me if we were going to send them back if they were bad." Daniel's arm tightened around her. "What did you tell her?" "That everyone makes mistakes, but this is their home for as long as they need it to be. That we don't give up on family." Daniel kissed the top of her head. Have I told you lately that I love you? Yes, but I never tire of hearing it. They sat in comfortable silence, listening to the quiet house, thinking of the children sleeping upstairs, one who had healed them, and two who needed healing themselves. Do you ever think about that night? Daniel asked. Our blind date? Emma smiled. When I told you no one wanted to date me? And I told you I already had all the family I needed, I just wanted someone to love the one I had. Look at us now, Emma said softly. Family of 5. Daniel's eyes were warm in the dim light. For now. There are a lot of children who need homes. Emma's heart expanded with possibility. She thought of her diagnosis, once a source of such pain and loss, and how it had led her here, to a family formed by choice and circumstance and love. For now, she agreed. But there's always room for more. 2 years later, Emma stood in the courthouse, watching as Daniel and Lily signed their names to the adoption papers. Marcus and Sophia, now officially Parkers, beamed with pride beside them. The judge smiled at the family of 5. Congratulations, she said warmly. It's official. Outside on the courthouse steps, they posed for photos, Emma holding their newest addition, 3-month-old Zoe, whom they had fostered since birth when her teenage mother had chosen them as adoptive parents. Everyone look at the camera, Layla called, acting as photographer. Say, family. Family, they shouted in unison, their faces alight with joy. Later that night, after celebration cake had been eaten and the children were asleep, Emma found Daniel in Zoe's nursery, watching their youngest daughter sleep. Penny for your thoughts, she whispered, slipping her arm around his waist. I was just thinking about how full our lives are now, he said. How different things might have been if you hadn't shown up for that blind date. Or if you hadn't been late, Emma teased. Best tardiness of my life. He turned to face her. When you told me no one wanted to date you, I thought you were crazy. I couldn't imagine anyone not wanting you in their life. You saw me, Emma said simply. All of me. The parts one thought made me unlovable. And you saw us, me and Lily, when most women would have run the other way from a package deal. Emma rested her head against his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat. I think we were all a little broken. We just fit our broken pieces together and made something whole. From down the hall came the sound of Sophia's voice, calling out from a nightmare. Without hesitation, they both moved toward her room, ready to comfort, to reassure, to love. This was their life now, messy and chaotic and exhausting and perfect. A house full of children who had once been unwanted, led by 2 people who had once believed themselves unworthy of love. No one wants to date me, Emma had said on that fateful night. How wrong she had been. How beautifully, wonderfully wrong. If you enjoyed this story of unexpected love and family found in the most surprising places, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories that remind us second chances are always possible. Remember that sometimes our greatest wounds become our greatest gifts, opening doors to connections we never imagined possible. Share in the comments your own stories of finding love when you least expected it.